Hey everybody, my name's Tyler. I just wanted to get on here and share my testimony about what Jesus has done for me recently. These are things that he's healed me from within the last 5 to 10 years. Most of them are, even more recent than 5 years. Now, when I start listing these, he didn't necessarily just say, you're healed and done and it's gone right away. But these are all things that either he did that with it, or he through time led me through a process to where these are things that I've noticed in my life. He's removed them. He's taken them out in some capacity. Some of them I still deal with occasionally, and I haven't received full deliverance yet. And almost all these were not in my timing, but these are things that I struggled with my entire life, really. And Jesus, when I said, hey, I want to follow you, and I made a decision to do that inwardly, these are things that have changed. So suicidal thoughts. I've dealt with suicidal thoughts a whole lot, especially my adult life, really. Insecurity about my body and the way I look. That's something I dealt with my entire life. Bipolar episodes, those didn't develop in my life until, mid-adulthood or so, as when I really started noticing them. Severe anxiety and depression, and the type of depression that you just feel hopeless, and even when things are going good, or you feel like everything's good, everything around you is okay, you don't feel okay, and you're just ready for it to be over, just a really like a desperation sort of depression. Lust and addiction to sex and pornography. This is one of the biggest ones that I struggled with for the longest time, over a decade for sure. And this is in all capacity, whether it's secret sexual sin or addiction to pornography on the on the internet, or just consumed with lust and sexual thoughts. Addiction to opiates is another one. This also has heavily affected my life as well. Physical addiction to opiates. Alcoholism, the need to drink as soon as I get home every day, to kind of forget everything. Living for others and what other people may think about me. It wasn't until recently I realized that I spent a whole majority of my life living and making decisions based on what other people might think about it, which is interesting. Now realizing, afterwards that that's what I was doing, but I wasn't even aware of that, until Jesus showed me and took it from me, and now I feel differently. People pleasing, really the same thing. Living for the opinion of other people, which is so handcuffing and such a horrible jail to live in. Ungratefulness. When you look around and you only notice all the negative things and you don't see anything positive, you're just constantly consumed with negative thoughts, and you don't think you have enough no matter how much you get. It can never be enough. Evil thoughts that are not of my own. So struggled with, what I feel like was demonic oppression, where thoughts would be entered into my mind and then I would have to take that thought captive. Now I know to take the thought captive and how to get rid of it with truth, but beforehand my mind would run with these different evil thoughts that were coming at me. Another one is fear, irrational fear of life and other people. I felt like everyone was my enemy, sort of feeling like when I'm out and people are around, almost like a separation between myself and others. Hate for others. I'm writing all these down because there's a lot of them, but hate for others was a big one. judgment against others. So I kind of grew up thinking that if you did something that I thought was bad, then you were a bad person. So like, you know, if you smoked a cigarette, or if you cussed, or if you punched somebody, or if you got too drunk, or if you did this or that, if you had sex, you know, if you did, you know, outside of marriage or whatever, you're a bad person. But thankfully the Lord has healed me of that and caused me to see the error in my way. And he's also provided a lot of healing in my life in other areas, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I always also struggle with the thought that other people are thinking about me and looking at me and feeling like I'm being talked about. Like when I'm out in a crowd of people, you know, self-consuming thought of, you know, hey, the world revolves around me, I'm in the middle, and then everybody here is thinking about me. You know, it's rooted in pride and self-centeredness. Gossip against others. Gossip now just feels dirty to me. Just feels like foul. I just have a feeling towards it that just feels wrong. When before I would talk about somebody and say, you know, bad judgmental things about someone when it's not my place to do that, and I don't know their heart. I don't know, you know, their true intentions or what's on the inside, or their thoughts or anything. Negativity, so just thinking negatively, I've already touched on that a little bit. Physical pain in the body, basically my lower back, and then all throughout my body as well. Comparison and low self-esteem, compare myself to others, looking at people, and if they were more attractive or bigger, better, whatever, faster, smarter, then they were better than me, you know, and I just couldn't handle it. And I felt like the need to be first, and if I wasn't, then I was disappointing someone. An imaginary person, I think. Lack of purpose and self-worth, just thinking I'm not worth anything, and just as good as dead, really. Gluttony, being consumed with the need to eat and fill myself and be overly full all the time. Selfish ambition, you know, always wanting to looking out for myself, thinking about how far I can make it, how much I can do for myself, and how much money I can make for me, how I can make myself look really good in the eyes of certain people and different things like that. Impatience, so no patience for other people, no patience for even myself. Nothing could be done fast enough, and it just irritated the heck out of me. He removed that. Cynicism, I used to look at things very cynically. Holding grudges and not being able to forgive people was another one. And forgiveness is such a freeing thing. Lies from religion, a lot of religious lies, just things that I believed growing up, being raised in a Baptist church. A lot of things that man just made up, but God never said. So it's always like an inward struggle of, why do I feel like I don't want to do this thing? Oh, wait, God didn't say it anyway. You know, it's man-made. Trying too hard to be perfect and to be good and to perform at a certain level, trying to impress others, trying to be someone else with no identity, you know, looking to a celebrity or someone famous and wanting to be them, wanting to make myself like them, because I'm not good enough, you know, so I've got to be like them. Super low energy. I struggled with just really, really low energy. Just didn't want to get off the couch. You know, that's a lot of that's depression. But closed mouth. I struggled with, you know, being afraid to speak my own thoughts, my own action, or my own opinions on things, and just letting everybody else say whatever. And I would just never, ever speak up and say anything. You know, like in class, I would never raise my hand. I was just always I just didn't want to speak. Being afraid to sing was another one. Just like a weird insecurity about singing and other people hearing me sing. And then the last one is being afraid to truly worship and submit to Jesus for fear of what other people might think of me, like my family or my friends or people that see me or know me or see me on social media or whatever might think I'm weird, if I go that route, which I realize is such a lie from the devil. But, I don't care what anyone thinks about me now. Thanks to the Lord and the freedom that he gives there, So those are the things that he's healed me from. One of the ones that I didn't really touch on yet was my physical pain and then my judgment towards others. It's really cool how Jesus healed me from that. He eventually led me to medical marijuana, which he used over time to heal my body. I've now received really healing in my body, and physical pain isn't really anything I deal with very much anymore. And he did that through medical marijuana. And the reason he did that is now that I use medical marijuana, I am now able to be on the other side of the equation and see for myself all these people this whole time that I thought were bad for doing, something that the Baptist church said you shouldn't do. It was just a lie the whole time, and he's used me to be able to relate to people that I wouldn't have been able to relate to before, be able to empathize and understand people that are going through pain, people that have used marijuana their whole lives, So God's creation is meant for good, and it's all about the heart and what we're using it for and what our intentions are. It's not what goes into a man that harms him, that is corrupting him, but actually what comes out of his heart that corrupts. So corruption does not come from anything we could consume, eat, or drink. It's what's motivating us to want to do that, So for people, Christians struggling with pain, medical marijuana was something that I had to get through the religious lies about to really seek Jesus and to receive that healing. If you have any questions about these things I talked about today, I'd love for you to message me. I'd love just to be able to help someone that wants help, anyone that needs help. You can comment, you can message in the inbox, and I'll be happy to talk about any of these things and more in detail. There's nothing hidden. Everything is out there in the light, so you can ask me anything, and I'll tell you anything. I hope this helped someone. I hope you enjoyed hearing about the things that Jesus has healed me from, and I pray he'll do the same for you. I trust that he will. Again, reach out to me if I can help. God bless. I'm out.